I do both. And here's why I do both. Do I want you to spend extra money? No. And the more places you can be, the quicker it is that you are going to match. Your dream is to become a mom. My dream is to help you get there. I'm Rebecca Greenspan, a single mom through domestic adoption and an adoption consultant for over a decade. I'll be your guide, along with other adoption professionals and members of the adoption constellation, walking you step by step down this beautiful and complex path of adopting your baby. When I was going through the adoption process, I had no idea what I was doing, what I needed to know, or more importantly, who to trust. Well, after helping hundreds and hundreds of families grow through the beauty and complexity of adoption, I've learned more than a thing or two, and let me tell you, it's not always rainbows and butterflies. This isn't just another podcast sharing adoption stories, but it's for you if you're genuinely committed to diving in with an open heart, eager to learn everything there is to know about adopting a baby so that you can show up for yourself and your child in the best way possible. This podcast is for you if you're ready to put your newfound knowledge into action. Adoption isn't for the weak of heart, and it certainly isn't done when your baby gets placed in your arms. If that's what you think, I'm afraid you're living in la la land. My promise to you is to keep it real if you promise to keep digging. We'll acknowledge the hard, and we'll also celebrate the joy that is adoption. You ready? Let's do this. In the world of adoption, this week has been insane in the membrane. Is that an 80s thing? 90s thing? I think it's from a song. Insane in the membrane. Anyone know what era that's from? Am I aging myself? Here's one thing. Okay, so here's why it's been so cray-cray this week. There are different approaches to adoption. I take the multi-agency approach. I believe in, and people will disagree, and there are pros and cons for sure, but I believe when you go to your financial planner with $2 million to invest, that financial planner is likely not going to put it all into Google. Like 100%. Google, if you would like to sponsor this, feel free. I think the multi-agency approach is a better strategy. Getting your profile in front of more potential expectant moms to be able to be matched with an adoption situation. Actually, by the way, shout out. One of my past clients has a clothing line, and this is one of her things, and I love it. I take it on every vacation. It's called 828 is the clothing line, 828. So great. So I think the multi-agency approach is a better approach to get in front of more people, and that's the approach we take. However, on the flip side, I have a huge network. I've been doing this for 10 years. So as you can imagine, when I first started, I called anyone and everyone, and I've been calling them ever since. And that has just expanded as new agencies have opened and blah, blah, blah. So my network is big. Thankfully, I have a really great relationship with a lot of people out there who work in this industry who send me situations when they are in need of families, more families at all, families that meet the specific criteria of the expectant mom. There's a lot of reasons they would reach out to me. Before we go on, we're going to take a quick break, but don't go away. We still have so much to talk about. The Adoption Roadmap podcast is sponsored by the Adoption Roadmap Academy, the only online program of its kind for hopeful adoptive parents like you who want step-by-step guidance, preparing for your home study, creating a compelling adoption profile book, choosing the right agencies, and more so that you can bring your baby home sooner. As an adoption consultant and adoptive mom who's been where you are, I'm going to guide you step by step through everything you need to know about the domestic infant adoption journey from home study to finalization. And the great part is you get to do it at your own pace with a supportive community behind you. The Adoption Roadmap Academy is a step-by-step guide to domestic infant adoption for hopeful individuals and families who are sick and tired of waiting forever. So if you're interested in starting your adoption journey and ready to fast forward and simplify your domestic adoption process, please email the word academy to support@rgadoptionconsulting.com today, and we'll get you started. So some consultants may have their clients sign up with agencies and sometimes get situations. Some consultants don't have you sign up with any agencies to save you a little bit of money and only send you situations that they receive. I do both. And here's why I do both. Do I want you to spend extra money? No. And the more places you can be, the quicker it is that you are going to match. Most likely, not all the time. We received last year about 142 situations from outside sources. We are going to far exceed that this year because we're more than halfway there already. When we get situations sent to us, it's still a good amount of work on our end. And I love it. By the way, if you are an agency and you're ever in need of families for a specific situation, please send them my way. Most likely we will have families. We usually have about, 70 to 85 families or more that are home study ready. So that's one of the reasons why agencies will reach out to me, because 9 times out of 10, I'm going to have the family that they need without having them, reach out to 10 people. So where was I going with this? Number one, I think it's a better strategy. And I have people do both because also when you sign up with agencies, you're going to get more of exactly what you want. Versus just waiting for situations to come to you. It may take longer. So that's kind of an overview of why I do both. I can get into it more if you have any questions about it. However, this week, in one day, I got 3 situations, and 2 of which, one we sent like 10 families, one we sent like 15 families, which is too much. They're probably going to narrow down. And one I was scrambling for, and then it just kind of fell under the wayside. But I was formulating questions. I was filtering through my families to see what I had. So it takes time. And then once you send it out, then we vet those with our families who are interested and ask questions, which lead to more questions back to the agencies and back and forth until they decide one way or another. So it takes hours of time on the phone, back and forth in emails and texts and all sorts of things. So I had 3 of those on like Monday morning, and that took up from like 11 p.m. the night before till 11 o'clock that night. And thank goodness at least one of our families has been matched. The other we're waiting for an answer on. And then we had one last week. Anyways, it's been busy lately. We do get a lot of situations. I will never send every situation to every family because it's not a fit for every family, and it just can be overwhelming. But one question we've been getting a lot of lately is age. And is there an age cutoff where you can adopt? 50 is about the cutoff. Will we work with you if you're above 50? Perhaps. Listen, I would rather you work with me and get the education and get the support and get the community if you're going to do it anyways. The likelihood of you being matched after 50, if you're in a couple with both of you after over 50, goes down. So either you put balls to the wall and go all out and see what happens with with no expectations, really. Like, give it your best shot. Or you might think of other things like foster to adopt or surrogacy. May be your better bet. That said, if you are going to go all out and try anyways, fine. You really need to be open to just about everything. Don't go in thinking you can say, I want a white baby boy. It's pretty, you're going to be waiting a while. You have to be realistic. And if you want to be a mom to whoever needs a mom, and you feel like you can do that, then adoption is a beautiful choice. If you are very particular as to, I only want somebody with blonde hair, blue eyes, chances are pretty slim for you. And that's just honesty. I will always keep it real. Okay. Mama needs a drink of water and she needs to get beautiful for her photo shoot. Any ideas? Any makeup tips for a woman over 50 who's about to get a photo shoot done? I love working a camera. I had so much fun with it. So I am ready. I got to get all my stuff together. Talk to you guys later. Oh boy. I'm silly sometimes. Bye. Well, I hope you enjoyed that episode of the Adoption Roadmap podcast. If you did, I have a few favors to ask of you. First, please hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. And while you're at it, I'd love to hear your takeaways. Please write a review and let me know what you liked. And if you have a question or a suggestion on what you'd like to hear, I'd love to hear that too. Please shoot me an email at support@rgadoptionconsulting.com and let me know what you'd like to hear about. And if you have a question, I may just answer it online. Thanks again for listening. Tune in every Wednesday and Friday morning for a brand new episode of the Adoption Roadmap podcast. Until next time, bye-bye.